Yes, so we're live for our last meeting for the Juice Feast. So far, Danielle and I, we'll see if anyone else shows up. So literally today is not the last day of our Juice Feast, even though it's the last meeting. And the plan is for us to just enjoy the next few hours of juicing ahead of the Pranic Feast. So for those people that are doing this for the first time, we usually do the Juice Feast as a preparation for the Pranic Feast. Some people just join one of the events, not the two, but that's the idea. So today I was just gonna open the mic for people that want to share about their experience throughout this week and mainly invite people to come along for the Pranic Feast. So for those people that are not here that might watch this later, yes, please do join us. We have several sessions that are happening in the Pranic Feast that'll be super cool and different and nice. So we do have Elitom, Raymao, Breatharian Yogini. We have Jerome coming as well. We have several different people from Russia that are going to share with us in Russian, and we'll have translation. So Satmaga is coming, Svetlana is coming. They're both from Russia. And then we have some pre-recorded sessions that happen in different Pranic feasts before this one, and that we're going to repeat the dose because they were really nice and cool sessions. So we have those as pre-recorded. And yeah, so it basically starts at 0 hours UTC. So people have to just check the time for their own time zone. And the opening or the water ceremony will be the opening session. And it will be the first one that we'll meet. And then from there, we'll have sessions every 4 hours, basically. So it's easy to just keep track. But then talking about juicing, going back to our last week of, was it a week? Yeah, I think it was, right? So yeah, basically a week of juice for most people, I guess. Tomorrow, last day. It's just been, at least for me, very special because I've been like moving about and being with family and friends and still managing to do it. So it's been fun. Most of the time I just do it on my own and don't really have to care for people's times of like sitting down and eating and it's been quite different this time, I guess. About you, Danielle, or any very much challenge? I prefer fasting over juicing. So yeah, I like chewing. So if I'm not chewing, so I'd rather be fasting instead of, juicing. So it's always a bit of a challenge, but it's been fun. And yeah, I don't know, has it been for you?
It's been pretty nice. It's like it seems to me every time when transitioning from food to liquids, it's like day one seems to always kind of be the toughest, because you keep thinking I could just start it tomorrow, the next day or whatever. But usually after day one's over with, day two sometimes can cause there might still be a little temptation here and there. But I find, at least for me, once I'm day three, day four, I want to be on just liquids. I don't, I'm not looking towards food much at all. I agree with you too. I actually really enjoy dry fasting the most. It's just, it really depends with dry fasting. There's just so many variables for me, depending on how much like activity I'm doing. I find that when dry fasting, like if I'm too inactive for too long, like my body just wants to just be inactive the whole time, melting. But if I'm active and I'm moving around and getting the, doing things, it actually wants to stay in that momentum as well. And then your emotions too are a bigger thing. I always forget how important it is, because I find like when my emotions are like meh, during a fast, like so's my energy level. It's like meh, but when like emotions are really good and I'm amped up, then I have even more energy than when on anything else. And so and then just the altered states that you get from dry fasting, you get to kind of experience those deeper levels of stillness and and uh, and relaxation and presence. Um, and then water is my least favorite, water fasting. I'd much rather be dry fasted or at least juices, because at least juices, I just feel like you get to enjoy some taste. You got a little bit of stimulation there. And then, even though I'm not in the whole nutritional aspect of things, I'm kind of like jumping out of that whole paradigm. Well, not jumping, I have jumped out of that whole paradigm of nutrition. I do feel like the fruits do have like biophotons, more that direct energy from the sun. So you do feel like a little bit of a charge from that information, so to speak. And so I prefer either juices or dry fasting, water, whatever. But I did my first day water because I joined in the day after for the juice feast, and I figured I could just accelerate things a little bit more, just do water and be real clear and clean. And then I've been on juices since then. I also I'm naturally always dry fasted until at least the afternoon. I just feel better that way. I don't like to have anything in the mornings. It just feel like it weighs me down, even if it is juice or water or anything. So I usually have it in the afternoon. I also, I guess with Father's Day, probably a lot of us kind of spent time with family that past weekend. And so, I was with the family. And one thing that I noticed with family is, obviously you got more of those tethers, those attachments to food and all these built habitual patterns. But I find that especially when you're around other people and they're eating and then you don't, it gives you this like extra willpower points, like it's like you get this I don't know how to explain it, but the more of anything that everybody else is doing and you don't, it's like you get these huge points in discipline and willpower that just really goes a long way and makes it so much easier to do in the future. But I do find that sometimes just being around that energy, it can still affect you subtly, even when you don't realize it. Like you might not eat the whole day, but then at nights, you start to get more temptations, like hits you a little bit later. So just being mindful of that, like, not to think we're immune. I mean, we could be, but like not to, how they say, put the wheel before the horse or something like that. Like, don't get too cocky ever is all I'm saying. Like, if you can avoid a situation of being in a restaurant, like avoid it. But of course, if you're like, I don't know, if there's a special occasion, you're with family, whatever, you don't have to completely block everybody off, but like, have that discretion, like know when it is a good time to say no, because sometimes it's better to not be in the heat of the battlefield if you don't have to. So that and that could turn into you consuming more juices later on at night, like, like after all the shenanigans of restaurants. You find it used to happen to me a lot. I was surprised this time around I didn't overly consume juices. I actually still felt quite good, so that was nice. And so, and then yesterday was a really beautiful time. I haven't gone out for a while because I've been in hermit mode. But last night we had a friend of ours who's a musician. He has a lot of he has gatherings on Tuesday nights around the fire, and everybody plays music and jams and dances and all this beautiful stuff. So I got to enjoy a lot of eating of sounds and vibes, and I was just lit up. I had so much energy, just being on liquid. Like you're just, when I find that you get when you tap into those states of dance and celebration, you can tap into them so much greater when you're fasted. Like when I was looking at some of the videos of me jumping around and stuff, I was like, it's like clearly this is a fasted person. Like a person on food could not even like be this animated. It's just can't. It's gonna weigh you down. So that was really cool. I felt like my spirit needed that last night. Like that's just that celebration and joy of life, and always getting together with Soul Tribe. That's why I love getting on calls like this too, because it just feeds the soul. And the more you feed the soul, the less you feel that you have to feed the mind and body. You know, it's like all else is kind of fed through that as well. So it's just that nobody talks about feeding the soul, right? Like the body makes more noise. So it's like your stomach will grumble when you haven't had breakfast or lunch or whatever and dinner. And so your body like screams for it. And so we feed the body, but then the soul is a little bit more, you know, especially for people new on the path that aren't as attuned to it yet. It's quieter, right? So it's like, it's like a slow death for people that aren't feeding their spirit. You know, they just realize it decades later is like, whoa, where'd all my joy go and stuff. And so I think it's important to feed the spirit, like just as much, if not even far more than the body and the mind. And I think once we make that transition, everything else kind of settles itself. I mean, you hear people even in the financial sector, right, saying that when you do what you really love, you'll succeed at it too. And so, and then it doesn't even feel like work because it's like the spirit being fed. So yeah, it's been really nice. I always kind of take for granted like how light you feel on juices, you know, and so it's always nice to go back to them because I've been going back and forth. I have been eating more than in the past and trying to find like a healthy balance between the two, between being mostly on liquids, but then when I allow myself to eat like a regular human being, not like because sometimes like when you open up those doors, you know, I'm like, well, I'm eating today. I might as well enjoy this and that and that and this. I've been wanting to try this. And then it's because I'm eating that day, I just allow myself to just gorge. And I don't like that feeling that like going, you know, that pendulum swing. Like I want to be more balanced where even when I do eat something that I, you know, still enjoy it and not overdo it, you know. And sometimes I think, you know, during fasting, sometimes people can, when they're transitioning to this lifestyle, develop, I guess, a lot of negative emotions towards food, and then it causes a lot of shame and guilt when they do eat. And it's like getting over all of that. And if you are going to eat, just enjoy the hell out of it and then get right back into where you want to go. So, and it's always nice when you're doing it in a group like this, because it like the consciousness of the group just helps support everybody. And then you have calls like this, which kind of help replenish the spirit and recharge you again and remind you why you're doing it and all these things. And so, yeah, it's nice to have this community.
To hear you, and it does resonate because I believe, as you said, this is a soul tribe, so it makes sense for all of us, whatever other people are saying and sharing and feeling, just because we've either been there or we are there or we'll be there and we know it. So yeah, it's nice to have more people doing it. Just, you know, the whole egregore of people doing the whole thing, and it brings more energy, and it makes more sense to do it alongside other people, just because we're human. So we're in a society, so we should be doing things with other people and not alone. So definitely. And there's one thing that you mentioned that I found it, I just thought about it the other day, like at night when we really crave things, and there's this connection between what you said and like in terms of feeding the soul, because I think in a way, as there's no light outside, it's sort of supposed to be the time that we don't have much of you know, stimuli in general, so at least external stimuli, and we're supposed to look inwards. And if we're not, I guess the craves come because we're not doing what we're supposed to do at that time. You know, we're not looking inwards and looking into what we're really supposed to be doing here, which is, you know, looking into our ascension and spiritual, actual type of living, because we're in physicality, but this is not a physical experience for sure. So yeah, I think it is connected to that. So it's fun to talk about it and feel it. So definitely.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
such a good point. Yeah. Because for me, a lot of times it's boredom. So like you said, like not doing what we're supposed to do. And then when you have a purpose and you're focusing on something, growing on something, it's just those thoughts wouldn't be there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think most people are at that point. Like I see lots of people that be like, oh, I'm okay, I don't need to eat now throughout the day. And then at night they'll just crave lots of stuff, like, and like things that they wouldn't eat throughout the day, and they just want different things. So yeah, I guess it's the time to feed a different side of us. So definitely. And we
Yeah.
just don't know it because we've never been told it, or actually more is even more than that, because we're not supposed to be told that. We're supposed to know it. But as we're not really connected to our conscience in a way, we strayed from it for so many years, like eating garbage and just eating things that we're not supposed to be eating, or watching movies, too many movies, like action movies and stuff that we're not even to be doing, and being with our phones and internet and all of it. So we're just strayed from what we're supposed to know and not be told. So
Yeah.
we just don't really know it because they forgot about it, I guess. So it's more I guess it's even more like a coming home, right? When we're juicing or thing, and whenever I find myself into one of those cycles of feeling a little bit depressed at night, I know it's because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So yeah. So it's good.
That is
Yeah.
definitely a good
Anyways.
reminder. Yeah. So much
Yeah.
consumption at night, so much consumption.
Definitely. Yeah, and then the past few days, like some people that are not they're not coming to these meetings because of time, just time zones for most people. Some people find it hard to come here. Like I think people in Australia it's like 1 a.m. right now. So 1:30, I guess 1:36. But yeah, so I'm just want to say some things because I've been, receiving questions from different people, and I guess it's nice to talk about those things too. So there'll be people that will need more juice, and there'll be people that need less. So it's a little bit about what you said in the beginning, and like just respecting your process. There'll be moments that will, even if we're just trying to cope with the environment at some point, like going out and you want to be with friends at that moment and you're still juicing. So you might need to take some juice just to keep yourself grounded a bit, like ingesting a little bit more. So that helps, I guess. And there's also about like the whole programming too. If we have a head that we know that in a way we're still connected to the, like you said, paradigm of like calories, eating protein, we're surely going to need a little bit more. And if we don't, we might eventually feel weak because we believe that we need more. So we need to sort of like address our situations and understand that some people might need less. Some people might enjoy their time having just like one single juice for throughout the whole week, like just having watermelon, for example, for throughout the whole week. Or some other people might need like different tastes just to, play a little bit of the alchemy of the whole juicing thing and enjoy it more. And some people might need to step back a bit and go, like in the first session that I think Nabiha mentioned it to Dina, like some people might need a bit more of like sustenance, and they might need like smoothies instead of juicing for like at least a meal a day or a meal every 2 days. They might need to go back a bit into like fiber. And it's not about like being in an advanced breatharian path or being in, it's not really related to your how do you say, like your grade into breatharian path or anything. It's just about like moment some moments we're fine with juicing, or we're fine with like water, fasting, whatever. And there will be a day that you might need a little bit more because there's like different things going on, like emotionally or physically,
Yeah.
or we're still really broken from the whole paradigm of like needing to exercise and still needing calories. So it might take some time. So for those people that are finding a bit tough to like understand how much they should be taking and how much they want to take, and just understanding that there's a little bit of a difference between that. Sometimes we don't need much, but we want more. And why is it? So we need to sort of look into that and understand the different sides of juicing, because if we think about juicing as a tool for detox, there's a different way of approaching it. If we think about juicing as a way of like approaching the breatharian path or the liquidarian path, there's a different approach to it. So there'll be different ways of doing this. Bobby, good to see you.
Hey.
So yeah, so I just wanted to add that because I know that for some people out there in they're just into her last few juicing. Are you with? Sorry, did you hear me?
Your voice broke up there.
Okay, yeah, sorry. So that was it. So I was just asking how are you, Bobby, and if Val is with you, if you guys are juicing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty fine. Yeah, I mean, I like it. Yeah, there's some like juices that somehow didn't go through well. As I don't know, I was like, this time around, watermelon was not my favorite. I'm like, that's weird, but somehow, like, I don't know, it was not like, I don't know if it was the watermelon or it was too warm. I don't know what it was. I ended up doing more like almond milks, like my own, like, almond milk. I ended up doing that because it was soothing me way more than the watermelon was just like kind of doing something. So I ended up doing all of that, and now I'm doing pear, and we'll see. I'm just gonna go to coconut water until tomorrow.
You mix your pear with anything?
I never mix anything. I don't mix at all anything. But I have a lot of, oh yeah, I missed to say that. This morning I was juicing for like 3 hours with like, there was like 15 people. We did like mostly like pineapple, oranges, and watermelon, but all separately, everybody choose which they want. And it's so funny how many people, like Ellie, you have no idea, like even Valentina, she just finally started the nut bag. She started juicing with the nut bag. And then she just looked at me and she's like, oh my God, I discovered something, Fabian. I need to make a video about it. I'm like, duh. Like, everybody's just like so much resistance until they're like trying the nut bag. And then they're like, oh my God, this is easy. Yeah, it is. It is easy and cheap. And there's no reason why to ask which machine you want to buy.
Man, I gotta try that. I've never tried the nut.
It's like a fun game. You're gonna love it. Like once you start splitting like your fingers in the juice, you're like, gosh, it's fun.
That's good that she started doing it. I did not do it.
15 people do it this morning. That was like really beautiful. Like kids, old ladies, grandmas, and they're loving it. So I just gave like 10 nut bags to the organization for them. It's like indigenous people. Anyway, sorry, cut you off.
No, that was good. It's good to hear. I think it's the best part, right? When you're doing with more people. That's fun. And yeah, I do have like a bunch of bags with me too. I tend to use it more for like the easier juices, like watermelon, sometimes grapes and stuff. But I really want to get like, I want to understand how you do it with like almonds. That's hard, man. How do you juice almonds with nut bag? Do you crush them before?
I still crush them in this little like machine, but it's like, if I am camping, I'll crush them with my cup. Like I have used the cup to crush them on the floor. I'm not gonna go that far to tell people do that because it's already a lot for them. Like if I go and tell them like I don't shampoo, I don't do nothing, they're gonna be like, he's crazy. But anyway, but I use the blender, which costs like $20 or $10, like a shitty blender you can get. Just crush your almonds, crush your carrots, crush your apples, just quickly. Like, well, the almonds a little bit more, but like if you're gonna crush like apples or whatever, just a little bit, not until they become brown, and then you just juice them because it actually avoids all this machine problem that happens with the fruits, right? Pineapple is the best example. Like most people just realize the beauty of juicing with a nut bag when they actually use every machine they can with pineapple. And then they realize that it does not work. No machine. I mean, maybe the most expensive extractor, but I think, yeah, pineapple is like very clear. You can see the foam out of most machine coming out. And you don't have any foam when you do pineapple with a bag at all. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I haven't tried pineapples. Like yeah, I must admit, I'm a bit lazy. Like I use the bag when it's easy to squeeze it, like watermelon, or like I said, grapes, tomatoes, or stuff like that. But I haven't tried with like the harder ones, like apples. Try it. That's a good idea for the last day to just use my time for that. But I tried this morning. Do you know what I tried? I don't know if you have it there, because I know it's a Brazilian fruit anyway. So I tried atemoia, which is a blend between like custard apple and I don't know the name of it.
That's great. Like, it's amazing for that. Yeah, and guanabana. Yeah. Have you ever tried guanabana? Is like so annoying to juice, but like it's perfect with the nutmeg.
Wow.
That's it. That the fruit is the mix of guanabana and custard apple. Like it's a Brazilian fruit that they mixed it. It's kind of a hybrid. So it's so good because it's like tangy a little bit and it's very sweet. So I tried it this morning. Oh my god, it was so good. It was almost like a milkshake. I wish I had
custard apple? You guys have custard apple right now?
Man,
yeah, I don't love the custard apple. I like the comment s'appelle the bigger one, the yellow one. But anyway, it's not a beady pie.
Oh, Berlinia?
Berlinia, yeah, I love those ones. Oh, cherry moya is nice.
Those are good too. Yeah.
Oh, did you see what I made?
I like the one because the moya is similar to the cherry moya too.
I haven't shown you what I made. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just taking over the juices. But anyway, I made like my first, not my first, but like, I don't know if you can tell, it's a flute, with bamboo.
Well, you made that
my
yourself?
Native American flute. I made my beautiful table, but you can't really see it.
Man.
I made this lamp, but you can't really see it. Can you see it?
Yeah, that's pretty.
That is
dope.
And
I even made something, well, it's probably a mess in Valentina's room, but okay, I don't know if you can tell that shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I made this whole shelf with bamboo.
Cool, man.
And yeah, now I'm gonna make like a porch for like the car or whatever. I'm just building things until we get the land here, but whatever. It's fun.
It looks like fun. That's a cool flute.
That's gotta be fun. Bamboo crafting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
Exactly. Sorry. Yeah, my audio is probably breaking up.
No, it's okay.
But hey,
are you ready for the feast, Daniel? What are you gonna do?
I am. Yes, I am. What's that?
Are you gonna clean?
Clean?
Yeah.
Oh, like my body? Yeah.
Clean? No, but clean the pipe. Like, are you gonna put some bleach through the pipe?
No bleach. I'm gonna. I mean, the juices. I think I've done a good enough job.
Nice. Yeah, I'm preparing
Oh,
myself for the Shank Prakshalana tomorrow morning. I'm excited about it. I'm like, yes, 3 liters or 4 liters of salt water. Woo! And then I'm gonna do 4 hours of bathroom.
I don't know how you do it. I've tried it like 4 times, man. It's too salty. I can't do it.
Yeah, I love it. For me, Shank Prakshalana is like the best part of the Pranic Feast. I don't know why. It's just like you feel so empty after that. When you start the feast, you're like, feels so good, you know? And you don't have the craving for food because it's like you spent your time in the toilet.
So what is that you're referring to? How do you do that?
We're doing it. We're not doing it. Some people might be doing it. I'm gonna submit a video like in 1 hour, like right now after that call, which is a video of Shank Prakshalana of one of the organizers, Monica. And between now and tomorrow, when the feast starts, anybody can do it. It's there's the instructions on the video. It's just like salt water, just like water with some salt in it, like just like 2 spoons of salt per liter or something like that. And you just drink, do some yoga at the same time as you're drinking so that the liquid can go in faster. And you keep drinking until you keep drinking. And once you really have enough salt water, it's going to start exploding. And the yoga part helps because it pushes the water down. And then once it starts exploding, it explodes for like 2 hours, 1 hour for those who are on juice. And if you're not on juice before that, it might take 2-3 hours in the bathroom. But it's wonderful. I don't know. I shouldn't explain it here, but it's wonderful because it's the worst smell ever in the bathroom. That it's ridiculous. This smell is like, oh my God, it's like death is coming out. And only at this moment it happens, really, you know? Not in a general diarrhea, not in a general like I'm getting sick, but this particular one is just pushing so much out of the system that it's just great.
How is that different than a saltwater flush, or is that what it is?
I think you could call it that way, but the yoga part of it helps smooth it, maybe. And if you just do a salt water flush, you're gonna, I don't know exactly how it works without the yoga, because for me, like without the yoga, it doesn't work. Like somehow the system is trying to like figure out a way to like keep it, but once you do the bowel movement, like the movement with the body, your body is just like at the limit of exploding. So it's like, okay, you go to the bathroom right away and it helps. And yeah, but it's the same. Yeah. So it's just nice to feel empty after the juice feast and ready to go on the Pranic Feast. Anyway, thank you for the juice feast, Ali. It was great.
Yeah. Thank you. It was fun. It was really nice. And yeah, I know it was different because back in Danielle was part of the last one. Like having meetings every day, it doesn't quite allow you to feel what you're really feeling. At least for me, like, because I'm always like in contact with people. So I'm not, in contact with myself that much. So I prefer like having like set days to meet and then set days that I just focus on what's going on. So it was fun. And I hope we do it again at some point.
Yeah, I think I'm just saying that to you now here, but I think what is it called? The Pranic Bliss for like, the one that I'm doing after the Pranic Feast.
Yeah, ecstatic.
It's just all pre-recorded video. Hey, I'm not going live for this one. Right, whatever. I was about to cancel it. I was like, I'm going to cancel it. I'm tired after the Pranic Feast. I'm not doing it. But since we already did it many times, I just decided to still keep it on, but pre-recorded.
It's a good idea. I'll do it. I'll be there.
It's pretty good. I think the program. I'm like, if people follow the program, it works. It actually does work. But anyway.
Yeah, it is fun. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. The whole thing, like I can't believe it's tomorrow, like the opening ceremony. Oh my God, it just flew by. It's crazy. At least it is tomorrow for you as well, isn't it?
Well, I mean, you're doing more fees than I am, so it's like you shouldn't be worried about it. I'm more like, God damn it, it's been a long time that I dry fasted. I think
Yeah.
Sergey Fiolinov kind of like messed up my head too last time, you know? But it's okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, I'm sure, for all of us. So yeah, I thought about I don't know if you guys want to say anything else, but I thought about us doing a bit of breath work before we close this up.
Yeah, I could do that. Okay,
Yeah.
go
All
ahead.
right.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, or anyone else join later, watching this later, just sit up with your back straight. Breathe in, breathe out slowly. Connect with the moment. Just let all the tension go. The next time you breathe out, you can make any noise that you like that might help you relax.
Mm.
Breathe in, breathe out. Slowly try to connect with the rhythm of your breath. Observe how much time you take to breathe in, how much time you take to breathe out. Don't control it, just observe. Feel the air going in, feel the air going out. Temperature, the way it brushes against your skin. And then slowly try to make your breath out just longer time than the breathe in for like 4 seconds, breathe out for 8 seconds if you can. Don't hold your breath, just connect. Breathing in to the breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. 4 seconds in, 8 seconds out. Always through the nose. A couple more breaths in and a couple more breaths out. And once you're done with that one, just hold your breath for a little bit, the longer as you can. Breathe in when you can no longer hold it. Observe your feelings, your emotions. Look back into the last few days that we've been doing this together. Emanate gratitude, love, happiness, harmony. And slowly start coming back to this moment. To the room. To this call. Open your eyes. Mm. Thank you. Hope you guys are feeling okay. Much love to you. And see you tomorrow. Yay.
Mhm. Bye, Ellie.
Bye.